In the last few days, an unusual number of puppets have been revolting against major pop artists. Today we're going to talk about the controversy between Sabrina Carpenter and Miss Piggy, from the Muppets, and between Taylor Swift and Elmo, from Sesame Street. These are two recent events, which is not a lot, but it's way too much of a coincidence for both to happen in the same week. So stay until the end of the video and you'll understand everything that's going on. Subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Take the opportunity to suggest the topic for the next video below in the comments. It all started when Miss Piggy attended one of Sabrina's shows. During the performance of the song Juno, Sabrina spotted Miss Piggy in the audience. There, the singer took advantage of the celebrity's presence to do the prison skit, as she usually does in her shows. It's kind of an inside joke. Sabrina usually arrests with her pink handcuffs celebrities or people she finds pretty at her shows, as part of the performance. And the celebrity this time was Miss Piggy. After that happened, Sabrina Carpenter was invited to a special episode of The Muppet Show. We don't know if Miss Piggy was at the show already intending to invite Sabrina to the program, or if the invitation was made because of the interaction during the show. But either way, there is a relationship between these two events, we just don't know if it's one of cause or consequence. It seemed like a simple, casual invitation, but no one would imagine that this would literally lead to a lawsuit threat. Sabrina accepted the invitation and, in early February 2026, the special episode with Sabrina Carpenter, Miss Piggy, Kermit and the whole cast premiered. She even performed her iconic song Man-Child, just as she did at the Grammy ceremony that same week. Sabrina is riding a wave of hype, even though she lost all 6 of her nominations this year. Even if the Grammys do not acknowledge it, Sabrina is one of the most popular artists of the year. During the special episode of The Muppet Show, Sabrina and Miss Piggy met backstage, before starting their numbers. As a big fan, Sabrina was super nice and polite with Miss Piggy, who noticed that Sabrina looked a bit too much like her. When she asked if Sabrina was wearing a wig to imitate her, Sabrina denied it, saying that was her natural hair. Later in the episode, we saw that Miss Piggy's hair really was a wig, which put her in a delicate situation on her own show. Still in the dressing room, we saw the interaction between the two stars. Sabrina said she was a big fan of Miss Piggy, that she, her parents and her grandparents grew up watching her show, and that it was an honor to finally be there with her. But Miss Piggy did not like hearing that very much, since that kind of implied she was old, even though Sabrina did not explicitly say that. At that point, the tense atmosphere between the two had already begun, which would only increase later on. As the episode went on, in the same dressing room, Sabrina revealed that Miss Piggy was her star inspiration, and that she had shaped her look inspired by her. That was all Miss Piggy needed to hear. She had already not taken Sabrina's unintentional hint about her age very well, so this was the last straw for her. She said she noticed that Sabrina was inspired by her, and that her lawyers had noticed it too and they would be in touch. This was clearly a lawsuit threat, for Sabrina having plagiarized Miss Piggy's hair and some details of her outfit. Sabrina did not take the lawsuit threat to heart, saying only that she would make sure her lawyers replied to Miss Piggy's. Later on, Miss Piggy found out that one of her 2 numbers had been cut from the show, due to time constraints. This only made her even more annoyed with Sabrina, because she was kind of stealing her screen time. During the performance of Islands in the Stream, between Kermit and Sabrina, Miss Piggy stormed the stage and finished the duet with Sabrina, outraged by the reduction of her participation. Sabrina was not upset at all, on the contrary, she went on with the show and sang the song with Miss Piggy. At the end of the song, Sabrina hugged the star and asked if she was really going to sue her for stealing her look. Calmer now, after having managed to get on stage and sing, Miss Piggy said that this was called intellectual property infringement, and that her lawyers would decide whether this would end up in court. With nothing else she could do, Sabrina had to accept Miss Piggy's answer and wait to find out how this story will end. And we are also waiting to see whether this fight goes any further or not. We hope Miss Piggy lets it go, because the show was so fun that it would be in poor taste for such a successful performance to end in a legal dispute. But the truth is that, from the beginning, Miss Piggy felt threatened by Sabrina, as if she were trying to take her place on the show, and that she would not accept quietly. She even knocked the dressing room door down on top of Kermit, which would be enough for him to sue her for the repair of the door and for bodily injury. But he did not mention any of this during the show, or afterwards, so we can assume that he let that incident slide. Another event that shook the world of pop music and puppets this week was the controversy between Taylor Swift and Elmo, from Sesame Street. It all started when Taylor decided to release the music video for the song Opalite. In this music video, she did an incredible artistic job, using a stone as an analogy for old loves that were like dead weights in her life. In the video, she presents the stone in a negative way, and the name of the song, Opalite, was the name of the spray used to get rid of bad relationships that did not add value. In this context, when Taylor used the spray, the stone disappeared. And Elmo did not like this analogy at all. On his social media, he posted the following, saying that Taylor Swift could only be joking with him, in a reproachful tone. The post went viral on social networks, among fans of the singer and of the puppet. Elmo was clearly sending the message that he did not like the new music video, particularly because of the analogy with the stone. For those who did not understand, he responded that way because, on his show, Elmo usually talks to a stone, and he felt this analogy as a slight against his stone friend. Mainly because Taylor presented the stone in the video in a negative way, as a dead weight that only got in the way. This time there was no lawsuit threat. In fact, I do not even think a lawsuit would make sense for something with so little direct connection, since Taylor did not intend to offend anyone specifically with her video. In any case, we are also keeping up with this story and its developments. What do you think? Are Miss Piggy and Elmo overreacting? Or are the pop artists crossing lines they should not? Leave your opinion below in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Take the opportunity to suggest the topic for the next video below in the comments. See you in the next video.